so much, we don't tell them like the truth about where they really stand when it comes to their sexual market value. We lie to women chronically and tell them that they're perfect the way they are. They're 10s. You know, you're the best. Don't worry about what these motherfuckers think. And my thing is, like, I think that's actually more destructive, because we tell women that you don't have no competition. It's just you and blah, blah, blah. But that's not how really reality operates. Everything is a competition. I mean, you're going to school right now as we speak, pursuing your master's degree. Why? So that you can be more competitive in the job marketplace. Everything is a competition, whether it's pursuing a job or it's pursuing a man, right? Especially a man of status, it becomes even more competitive. But we lie to women and tell them that there is no competition. You're the one. And I think that's a destructive mindset to instill in modern day women.
Life is competition.
Oh, okay. And then you had something about
I'm like trying to like
oh, you were saying men are delusional that have money?
Yeah, because you were talking, well, the question that they had asked were that women are delusional, thinking that they can be with a man that is out of their reach.
Yeah.
Right? Now, flip that.
And a lot of these days, they believe that because they can get a man out of their reach, at least on a temporary basis, for bedroom fun. The guy's not going to commit to them, but he'll still fuck them. And then they think that that guy is their level. So this chick right here that we see on our screen, very basic chick, right? What did you give her? Like, I'd give her, as she sits right now, probably a 6. But even she can fuck a guy who's an 8, 9, or 10 on Tinder. And then she starts thinking, that's my level. And then that's what she starts looking for in a guy when it comes to long term. But the reality is, a guy that above your league, lady, is only going to fuck with you temporarily. But a lot of these women don't understand that. And that's why they end up being cat ladies.
Are men delusional, thinking that they can get with women that are out of their reach?
It's not true, though. We don't think that, because a guy who's a 6 can't fuck a chick who's a 9 unless he pays her or some other kind of sugar daddy arrangement. Guys can't do that, because men and women think very, very differently about sex. We don't care about who we have sex with. Women do care who they have sex with. And there's biological and evolutionary reasons behind it, because women are the ones who get pregnant. And they want to get pregnant by the best possible man that they can get pregnant by, because they can only get pregnant once every 9 months. We can impregnate as many women as we want. That's why 30% of us humans walking this earth today have Genghis Khan's DNA. It's because men and women operate very differently when it comes to sex. These females don't understand that.
Yeah,
but they can.
absolutely.
So
But
they can.
It varies, but I feel like men can because of what?
Money.
Like I said, unless you're paying the chick, or you have some kind of a sugar daddy arrangement, or you're very, very high on the social hierarchy, you're not going to be fucking a chick that's out of your league. That's the only way you're going to be fucking a female who's a 9 or a 10 if you're a guy who's a 6 in looks, is if you have cash or some other kind of clout or social status. But any average bitch can fuck a guy who's a 9 or a 10 on a slow Tuesday or 2 p.m. last call. Nobody's ugly after last call.
Because women are entitled.
Yeah, they're not good-looking guys.
But you gotta, that's true. But we gotta go back to, what does the opposite gender value? Like, we know that women don't necessarily value looks to the same level men do.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a good-looking guy, that's great. That'll open the door. That'll open plenty of doors for you.
Yeah.
But, you know, are you going to be able to compete with a guy that's average-looking that has more money than you? A lot of the times you won't, because a lot of women prioritize financial security over.
Here's where I think Myron is slightly wrong. And I agree with Myron most of the time. But this is where he's wrong. They'll still, like, these girls will fuck a guy who's attractive, but they're mostly on that MO when they're in their early 20s. So these chicks in their early 20s, they're in their hot girl summers, their whole phases. They fuck guys only based off looks or how the guy makes them feel. Or, you know, or if the guy, the main question to these women is the guy going to make my panties wet? And if the answer is yes, they'll fuck him. And that happens when they're in their early 20s, mid 20s, party years. When they're in their later 20s, 26, 27, 28, then they start looking for a guy with more substance. But before that epiphany phase kicks in, they'll fuck Pookie and Ray Ray from down the street, as long as they look good or they get her panties wet. So this is where he's slightly wrong.
Looks.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know you're saying, well, there's a lot of guys that are delusional out there that make a lot of money. Well, they can afford to be delusional because they quite literally can afford to be delusional because they have money, and there's a significant amount of beautiful women that will gladly get with a guy that's less sexually attractive, but is able to provide financial security. I mean, you guys all live in Miami. How many Colombian bad bitches do you see with old wrinkly dudes?
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They're with them though. So the guy's still, even though he's delusional to some degree,
I'm gonna be one of those wrinkly old dudes with a bunch of hoes.
Let's say not that attractive,
on a yacht
makes
in Miami
$100,000 a
one
year.
day.
She thinks I deserve a high value man, a millionaire, and the reality is she probably is never going to get one because she's not. Her value isn't tied to her income; it's tied to her actually beauty. But she thinks that her income is actually what makes her more valuable, and that's one of the biggest mistakes for educated women that are higher earning. Is that your success doesn't mean anything really to a successful man.
Exactly, man. These bitches think just because I have a degree, so that must mean I'm also attractive and hot, even though I'm a 6 and overweight and have a bad attitude. No, sweetheart, you're still a 4.
So what if a man isn't successful, but he thinks he's...
Because these bitches, they don't share their money with us. We're the ones who are dumb enough to share our fucking pot of gold with them. They don't share their shit. And as a man, I wouldn't feel good about taking a woman's money anyways. I want to be self-sufficient and independent. And actually, I want to be a provider. I don't want to be living off a chick. So a woman's income does not appeal to a man like me at all. A high earner, high roller, a guy who has his own shit. I don't care. Give me a bad bitch who works at McDonald's over a 4 out of 10 who works in a corporate office. All day long. That's why Oprah is in one of the most sought after bachelorettes in the whole world, even though she's a billionaire. But they ain't no high value dude checking for Oprah. Ain't Chris Evans ain't hitting up Oprah or these rappers. They're hitting up Instagram models who like have 1 million followers on IG, but they live on an air mattress in a roach motel somewhere in North Hollywood. We don't care about a girl's income. We care if you're hot.
He can still have a chance with a woman that is...
And also tolerable. And if when it comes to marriage and shit, we want to see if you're a hoe or not. And if you're a good mother stock. But that's for serious relationships.
Beautiful. And that woman might be attracted to that person just by their personality. It doesn't have to do with...
It's possible. I have met guys that are delusional that think that like I deserve a bad bitch even though they smoke pot every day and live with their mom. But
hey, nothing wrong with smoking pot.
It's a minority versus
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, like most guys are fairly.
As long as you're a functional pothead. A lot of you dudes are not functional potheads. So I get what he's saying. If you smoke weed all day long and that's all you do and you live with your mom and you only play Xbox and you don't have nothing going for you, stop smoking weed. I smoke weed at the end of the day when I'm done with my shit. And I'm done making my money. I'm done handling my business. I'm done fucking these bitches to sleep. Then I roll myself a joint. But if you're a guy who's not where you want to be in life and you only smoke pot, you're a fucking loser, bro. You need to stop. Or at least slow down. Or use this as a reward system. Like, do your shit and be like, okay, if I do this much work today or if I make this much money, I'm going to reward myself at the end of the night with a fat J. That's how it should be. Use it as a reward system. Not waking up every day and smoking pot. Unless you are where you want to be or you're on vacation, then it's fine. But if you're not where you want to be in life and you're constantly smoking weed and playing video games and wasting your time, you need to stop.
It's like with men, right? Men are very competitive by nature. So when a millionaire walks into a room or a guy that's successful, all the guys recognize that, they understand that, and there's automatically a meritocracy set in place. Men understand that there's levels to this shit quite literally.
We're very hierarchical.
Women, however, typically don't. It's like a woman could walk in. Let's say Oprah walked in the room, right? And everyone will be like, oh my God, Oprah's in here. This is awesome. But no one's really going to give a fuck like that if it's like 10 bad bitches in there. They're like, okay, cool, you make money and you're a celebrity. But like,
I think women know. I think women know when we're in a room, we kind of know our place. You know what I mean? And
from a look standpoint, though.
Yeah.
See the difference? When the men meet each other, it's what do you do? When the women meet each other, it's oh my God, you're beautiful. Do you have a boyfriend? Like when women meet, they're more concerned with like, tell me about your life from the people that you're associated with. When men meet each other, they shake hands. What do you do for a living?
Yeah.
Facts. Women care about people. Men care about things.
So,
I will say though that in a room like full of men, sometimes you don't know that dominating presence of the one with money, because the one who's flashy the chain, he looks really good. He's a lot of times doesn't have as much money as the his peer who's maybe like just normal guy, but he's the one who's actually the one with the money. So a lot of times I think girls fall.
Of course.
Yeah, but she's talking about like maybe dating trap dudes. So she's right about that. Most of the times the guys who are the most flashy or the loudest are the weakest in the room. That is true.
Victim to that
But
trap.
you know what's funny? Like, even though he doesn't look like he has money, he has the most, he still chooses a guy with a chain.
Excuse me?
You still choose the guy with a chain.
That's
Yeah, a lot of girls will still choose the more appealing looking guy.
Yeah.
And that's where they mess
Appealing looking guy with the chain.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean,
The trap lord with a Hellcat.
just so that we don't deviate from it, like, are men delusional as far as to what they think they can attract? Yes, but it's a minority compared to amount of women that are delusional of what they think they can attract. And I think the reason for that is because men generally understand where they stand in the marketplace because reality reflects that. For example, if I'm a loser and I smoke pot and live with my mom all day, when I go to the club, I'm probably not going to get that much play. Girls are going to curve me. I'm going to get flaked on. I'm not going to get ass. So my inadequacies are directly reflected through my experiences, right? But with a woman, let's be honest. How many fat bitches do we know nowadays that are at the club and think I should be able to sit in a VIP section with all the baddies and everything else, or
Bruh.
I got a sugar daddy, or I sell feet pictures. So women are far less aware of where they really stand on the totem pole because reality doesn't reflect their
I think
inadequacy.
they are aware of where they stand on the totem pole because being a woman is all about your looks. Like you have to look good as a woman to even attract most men. Well, not necessarily. Some men. I'll take that back because men think with their dicks.
Yeah.
Like they
I've seen girls that are atrocious looking that still get more. And actually, we have a whole, like, this isn't even me talking shit. We literally have a study that proves this. They compared messages from very attractive men in the top 1% to average women. And the most attractive men in the top 1% still were getting less messages than girls that are average.
I think when you know you look good, you are more selective. Like,
You
I feel
are,
like
even if you
when you
don't.
know you look good, you don't.
You're missing the point, though.
Yeah, these bitches will always like divert. Like, I think bitches just start saying things and hope that somewhere along the line they make sense. They just start like they don't even like. You can tell she didn't think what she was about to say or have any kind of introspection before she opened her mouth. And that's what females do. I notice this more and more frequently now. Like, they're so used to just being right all the time, they'll just start saying things. And from authority and with confidence. Even though they make no sense.
The point is that average women get far more attention from the opposite gender than men get at the top tier get from women. So that changes. If you're getting attention from a lot of people, regardless of how you look or being average, well, let's be honest, that's going to inflate your ego to a degree. I mean, it goes back to that discussion we had on entitlement. Why are so many modern day women entitled? Well, because they have far more options than they ever had before. Average women nowadays have access to higher status men through the advent of the internet.
But do they really have access to higher status men? Like, I mean, like
Yes,
getting
they
a man.
do.
Yes.
Yo, a girl wakes up, right? Goes on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'll fly you out. I'll buy you a bag.
Yeah.
What you
Well,
doing
let's pull
tonight?
that up. Go ahead, Chris.
It's crazy, man. I mean,
You get on Hinge.
before you even leave the house, niggas are telling you you're beautiful, you're amazing. You got hella
I
attention.
don't think all
No.
girls get that.
Yo, all girls get that. Every single average chick has 100 simps in her DMs at any time. Even average or below average looking females. These females live in delusion. They don't know how good they have it when it comes to how easy it is for them to acquire sex versus how difficult it is even for a man at the top. It's just, and I don't expect them to understand. Why would they understand a man's struggle? They don't care. And that's understandable. But we know a lot more about what it is like to be in their shoes than they know what it's like to be in our shoes. Because again, we're the hunters. So like just like a deer hunter needs to know where the deer goes to drink water, where it sleeps to hunt it. We as men know, since we're the pursuers, we know what women like. We know, like, for example, I have wine in my house even though I don't drink wine. But I have wine in my house because women love wine. So we need to know what women like. We need to know what they're into. to get them. So therefore, we understand women much better than women understand us. And it's so clearly obvious here.
So.
I do.
They got offered.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't say you, sweetie. I'm saying just all girls in general. You know what I mean? It just all depends on like where in the tier are you.
Well, compared to guys,
let me
though.
put it this way: an
Yeah, I
average looking
They just don't want to admit that there's any difference between men and women. They will fight tooth and nail to say that our experiences are exactly the same.
woman can DM.
And it's because of this modern new world we live in where equality is the ultimate truth.
a verified music artist,
This one?
and that guy will probably respond to her.
Not
Yeah.
Versus, if you take the top best looking guy and he sends a girl to a message to an average girl, it's 50-50. She might respond. Okay, number of messages received versus recipients of attractiveness.
True.
Bam. You see that with the female participants, the more attractive they are, it literally skyrockets up. Versus with the men, even at the most attractive, they're barely competing with average women.
Where are you getting these stats from?
This one comes from I think it's either Instagram or Tinder dating app.
Explain it again.
Yeah, what are the
It's
factors?
Tinder?
that
Okay,
are
thank you,
making
Chris.
this?
So basically what it is it shows, if you guys can see, the dark blue line is female recipients and then the light blue line is the male recipients. What this illustrates is that the most attractive men are pretty much barely competing with average looking women. As far as like messages, getting messages.
Well, that's because men are pursuers.
Yeah.
They initiate. Women don't.
No, of course, but remember the whole premise of this, the whole reason why we got to go back to the context under why I brought this up. My argument is simply that average women punch out of their weight class because they think they can because of all the messages and validation they get.
I
That's why I'm
think
saying
that's not
that's-
true. If the men that are hitting you up are rather unattractive,
Right.
then
What
that's
kind
gonna
of men are hitting
then
you
It's
up?
just like if you're getting hit up by men that aren't really
Yeah.
top of the line or they're
Right.
just.
Remember, we said average women.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying in general, like as a person.
So average
like,
man hits up average woman. Wouldn't you? That would match, correct?
That's not going to inflate my ego.
That's
So
what I'm
you're
saying.
average.
Like if it's
It
like
does
a-
inflate
My
their ego.
You're an average
If it's a
guy.
good-
It does inflate their ego. This is why there's so many average women out here who won't settle for an average man, because they've had better than average. They've had the top tier guys, at least temporarily, and now they think that's what they deserve. So it does mess with their heads completely, totally. And all the simps in the DMs, that messes with their heads too.
man.
So you guys need to stop with that shit, man. You fucking losers are ruining the game. That's why these basic ass hoes are so gassed up these days. Stop it. Get some help.
you up like multiple good-looking men.
Yeah,
and it's just
then
like
you're gonna feel some.
because let's be honest, like top percent
Tier.
men, like 1% men, they're not gonna go after just anybody.
Anybody.
So like if a
Right.
man like that is going after you, then
A lot of these guys will fuck anybody, man. Even the top dudes, man. I used to know this guy. He still works as a male stripper. And this guy had a body count, according to him, of over 2,000. And I believe him because he's a male stripper and he works at a male strip club. So I believe that shit. And this guy had fucked over 2,000 women. And he still wants to fuck more. And this guy, he was about fucking a chick who I passed up. This chick was a solid, like 5, even no, actually 4 because she had an obnoxious attitude on top of her, and she's overweight. And this guy still fucked her. So no, even fucking high level dudes, man, the guys at the peak of their game, male escorts basically, they'll even fuck, man. Fucking is completely not the same for us. These bitches don't understand. That guy went way below his league. You know, I know most females would find him to be a 9 or 10. The only thing that guy was lacking was really height. You know, he wasn't tall like your boy. But a good looking man. And he would go way below his weight class. Way below his league. He would fuck 4s and 5s. And he'd tell me about it. And this chick was a solid 4 that he fucked. So this chick is completely fucking wrong. Again.
that's when your ego is going to be inflated. But if it's just an average man DMing you, I don't think.
And I know this is anecdotal evidence, but it's not just one person. I know many high ranking dudes and guys who get women, like high level women. They'll still go fuck a 4 or 5.
ego should.
Right.
Unless you're
Maybe-
attracted
maybe-
to
yeah,
him.
I'm probably the guy who I know who has the highest standards. I don't fuck anything below a 7 anymore. I used to fuck 5s and 6s, even 4s back in the day. Back when I was in my early 20s or when I was 19, 20, I would have fucked any chick who wasn't fat. That was my standard back then. Don't be fat. But now I have a higher standard because, you know, I've already fucked a bunch of pussy. So like pussy doesn't excite me as much anymore. It still does. A hot chick still does. But like I wouldn't go for anything less than a 7. But that is now at this point in my life when I'm a G. You know what I mean? So these girls don't understand how most guys think.
If it's one average man, but if it's hundreds of average men, that's gonna 100% inflate your ego.
The apps are saturated with like so many men.
Like, you know how easy a man is, so it's never gonna.
Okay, we can explain why, but it doesn't change the fact as to women have inflated egos because they have an overabundance mindset with men. That's what I'm. That's my argument. My argument is simply that average women get an abundance of attention from all types of men. Therefore, their egos go up alongside it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Compared to men. About all types of men.
So, and they get dick from guys who are above their league. All these bitches, guaranteed all of them. Because they're all Miami 304s. All of these chicks have had a guy who's way above their league. And that's also why they're so gassed.
To break it down, right? Let's say, for example, you're on Instagram. You might get 100 DMs from guys. Maybe 50% are unattractive. Maybe like 10% might be attractive, right? That's still 100 DMs. He gets on Instagram, he might get like 2 DMs, 5 DMs, right? So what happens is, yeah, you might not like all those guys, but 1 or 2 you might actually like. So you're like, you know what? I got 100 DMs.
Man,
perfect.
Sneako's thirsty in the chat, bro.
Niggas hitting me up. So now I have all the attention. You know what? Forget these guys in my DMs. I want better guys. So off rip, but from sheer numbers, you want better guys.
Yo, this chick in the bandana Sneako was thirsting over, she ain't even fucking all that, bro. See what I'm saying, man? Most guys are thirsty. And Sneako, he's a guy who has millions of followers on YouTube. So this is a guy who has options. I would imagine. I would hope so. And he's thirsting for this bandana Snoop Dogg looking like bitch. I'm telling you, man. Guys are fucking thirsty. Most guys go way below their league. And that's also because most guys don't even know what their own worth is these days. That's why you'll see a lot of fucking ugly ass chicks walking around with dudes who are clearly way above them. And I had a cousin come here from Pakistan a few weeks ago, and he noticed it, and he brought this up to me. He's like, yo, I see a lot of like ugly chicks with like alright looking guys. And I'm like, yeah, because the game's fucked up. That's why.
If you have more options, you're naturally going to gravitate towards the top of those options. But if you don't have as much, you can't afford to be as selective. This is just human nature.
That's natural.
But that's what we're arguing, though.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So you can't say that all those messages don't count. They still do count.
Yo, that's the second $20 he sent. Okay, the bandana chick, actually from this angle doesn't look too bad, but she ain't all that. I mean, I'd give her like a 7. She's cute. She's a 7, but bro, Sneako, my man. Let me talk to you for a second, bro. Why you thirsting so hard over a 7? Come talk to me, bro. Let me help you out.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. So you can't say that.
Come down to Toronto, G. I'll take you pimping.
All those messages don't count. They still do count because even though those guys are invisible to you, it doesn't change the fact that like you're still getting attention from these guys to prop up the people that are at the higher tier so you notice them. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
No,
I get what you're saying.
If your inbox was completely empty, you would be far more open to speaking to someone that you may not think is on your level. However, when you got hundreds, if not thousands of messages, well, now you have to prioritize only the top tier guys.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that, you're getting these messages from these ugly dudes and it matters. No, I'm just saying it plays into the entire totality of the circumstances that these average guys messaging you, all right, directly impact your own self-worth and value. And you say, okay, I got a bunch of average guys hitting me up. I can do better than this. Then that's when you go to rise to the cream of the crop. And that's what we've noticed about women is that if you leave women to their own devices.
Also, when they get D from a guy who's way above their league, that's what also messes with their minds. He forgot to mention that.
What do? They pick the best guy that they can get.
I mean, but what's
men
the
get what
best
they can.
guy?
Women get what they want.
What's the best guy to you? Somebody that has a blue check or something?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just using that in general terms, but because women are highly attracted to status. But that's just an example.
But not only to status.
I think that's a survivalist mechanism in women.
Yeah,
We want the best.
I'm not faulting y'all for it. I'm just saying that When women have options, they pick the best guy. When men have options, they try to get the most women. See the difference?
As you should.
See the difference?
Facts. This show is nothing but facts. That was another clip from Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit is the gift that keeps giving. Subscribe to my channel. Like the video. That helps me out a lot. These videos take time and effort to make. So a like is the least you can do. I'll see you in the next one.